back into the deck. Yo, new cards PogChamp, new cards PogChamp? We got a new Aquino. These guys are playing with the new ones. Right, more cards have been revealed. Oh, the boss monsters actually earlier. The hell? The card arts are way too small for me to be able to properly appreciate the art sometimes. What the hell is going on here? It's just a head. Aquatic beast. Uh, might be beneficial to just read Aquino first. Uh, at the beginning of your attack phase, you may down up to 2 of your up white Signy, then target one of your opponent's Signy with level equal to or lower than the number of Signy down this way. With level equal to or lower than the number of. Alright, so only level 2s or 1s. Return it to their hand. Go to the top. Gain 1 Signy barrier. During your opponent's next turn, all of your Signy get plus 4 power. Okay, so you have a way to constantly deal 1 damage. Because outside of key format, and even uh, there is always going to be at least one thing, unless your opponent's Mugen, I suppose. In which case, it's in your best interest to beat them up as quickly as possible, I suppose. Anyways, so this is a stall deck that's going to just be playing a lot of. Uh, she's very similar to Hirana since they both essentially do the exact same thing. But Hirana, I can't help but feel like Hirana's stronger. This doesn't feel like it does enough. But let's see, maybe the boss monster is worth it. When your Aquino bound for ambition attacks, you may discard 3 white cards from your hand, and if you do, up that Lurig, and until end of turn, it loses its abilities. Okay then, yeah. The boss monster kind of does everything. Look at the top 5 cards of your deck, add up to 1 card from among them, and put the rest on the bottom. Alright. Yeah, it's typical white gameplay. And then Ray. So all the no limit girls. There is a strong focus seemingly on those girls for the upcoming cards. Alright, Ray. She's blue, so I'm gonna hate her by default. At the beginning of your attack phase, you may down up to, I'm guessing, two of your up blue Signy, then choose one of the following. Draw one card for each Signy down this way, or your opponent discards one card from their hand for each Signy down this way. One of these options is better than the other. Go to the top. The only time you'd be drawing cards is if you really just don't have any resources, which seems impossible considering what kind of deck you're playing. So for the most part, you are going to just be destroying the opponent's hand. Go to the top. At the beginning of your opponent's next attack phase, target one of your opponent's Lyrig or Shigny and this turn whenever it attacks. Disable that attack unless your opponent discards three cards from their hand. Alright, it's a defensive ability, more of an rather than an offensive one. Alright, it's typical blue. Let's see how the boss monster breaks them open. It's a jewel. At the beginning of your attack phase, if your rig is Ray, target one of your opponent's level 2 or lower Signy, and you may discard one blue card from your hand for each of its levels. If you do, put it on the bottom of their deck. Target one of your opponent's Signy and freeze it. Alright. So this is how you manage to deal damage, and then the freezing thing is useful, but honestly, I think she might be the most mid. Yeah, discarding, I already say they are balancing around the fact that your opponent's probably not gonna have any cards to play ever in the late game. And that in it of itself is both defense and offense all in one. That's a lot of people. Oh, sure. I wasn't paying attention to what deck I was playing. My bad. Well, hope they can find this enjoyable nonetheless. Oh, I don't feel bad anymore. Not opening whatchamacallit always sucks, but we do get to go first. No point committing anything. We just wanna we just wanna face tank the 3 damage. Taken hands. Perfect. Everything we need is now in place. May as well keep this. We might need it in case they're playing some good defenses. Highly unlikely, but you never know. You think I care? I'm doing a whole of hand approach here, as you typically do. That follow-up is going to suck ass. Oh man, they have green hate. That's still not enough. Alright, that is enough. Alright, just every single defense was fired immediately. Not really much of a choice when you're up against Mama. They might just out aggro me here. I mean, if the blue archives can deal with Mama Angabanga, I suppose that would be another reason. But for me, it's just gonna be further reason to hate, because why are the blue archives so ridiculously strong that they can face with against Mama Angabanga, but every other deck they've designed is practically incapable. Ah, that sucks. Of course, they're playing blue. They chose not to attack. Interesting. That sucks. Yeah, come on, man. Why are the blue archives so ridiculously strong? They were going to sell either way. I'm not playing Mama anymore.
So this is where things get really complicated, right? Because since these fuse by putting the material back into the deck, if you chain this to them and shuffle them back into the deck before they can resolve, then the fusion summon doesn't happen. So in the mirror match, if you both have shufflers and you both trigger Tearlaments, there's this weird back and forth going on. Especially because all of these cards that I've mentioned so far all hard once per turns, which is probably the trickiest part about this deck. You've got to keep track of, like, okay, I've used this one, but not this one. Like, which ones can you still activate this turn? Which ones can your opponent still activate this turn? Keeping track of these 7 cards and whether or not they've activated is tricky. And then the only one left, we've got Rhino Heart. Rhino Heart, when it's milled, you can discard a Tearlament, summon it, and then it foolish burials a Tearlament when it's summoned. Just sends a tear from the deck to the graveyard. So this doesn't fusion, but it activates all the other ones by sending them from deck to the graveyard. And that's the only one that's at 3. And then other than that, we've got some spell traps, we've got a field spell, but all that, they're all variants on, like, this is when a monster is summoned while you have a Tearlament, mill 3. If this is milled, if it's sent to the graveyard, then you can grab a trap from your deck, add it to your hand. One of these traps grabs a monster from the deck to the hand when it's milled. One grabs a banished monster and adds it back. They add back stuff when they're sent to the graveyard, and all the traps are basically like negate a thing and then destroy a card on the field or in your hand. You usually have to control a Tearlament in order to activate and resolve them, but you get to trigger the Tearlament effect when you resolve them. So just a big hassle of keeping track of a lot of stuff, and then generic things. And then rank 4s. We've got a whole bunch of rank 4s. It's not too hard. As I said, a lot of these simple effects in principle, millers, shufflers, they all have little quirks. They all have little individual effects that make them kind of tricky. Like this guy, Agito. If your opponent mills cards, you can special summon this and then summon another Earth Fairy from your graveyard. These are all Earth Fairies, by the way, all the Ishizu cards. So it gives you a way, if you have setup, to make a rank 4, if your opponent mills, or if you force them to mill by using one of these cards. Same thing, some of these can summon themselves under certain conditions, and some of them are level 4, and then we make rank 4s, we go into Zeus, we go into Abyss Dweller, there's a whole toolbox there, and then even links and stuff, because nothing locks you into anything. So that's the very basic premise. Milling a whole bunch of stuff, and then figuring out what to use. It sounds really complicated, because it is. This is one of the more complicated decks I've played, but hopefully it should be more clear once we actually start playing it. So, you know what, enough talk, it's time for action. Let's actually take this onto the ladder, start playing it, and see how it goes.
So I'll just play against myself again. No notif sound. Gotta remember who's who here. Now the mirror is a very intense and skillful thing. Let's turn this into a top deck war, I suppose. First blood. No cards to discard. Look, I don't have Ushioni. I'm just gonna get punished for playing Erstigal.
가득히 멀리서 속삭임이 흘러들면 잡히지 않아 하늘만 어루만지고 언젠가 들어본 기억이 있는 사무치는 마음에 뒤를 쫓아가니 다다른 끝에 눈에 들어온 건 흩어져 버린 꽃잎 가득 찬 너의 향기 울고 있는 나는 금방이라도 시들어 쓰러져 버릴 것만 같은
That is one sticky arc win. I believe this version only plays 2 arc wins. Since Mugen's colorless, the shadow doesn't actually matter even if we get all the colors. Since you can't gain shadow colorless. Alright, that last card, that last life burst is gonna determine who wins or loses here. Hot damn. It's close. Mugen versus Mugen is honestly kinda fun, but I don't think it's fun enough. Like, that was mostly just a top deck war. I couldn't really tell which whether or not the differences mattered at all. I mean, for the most part, they were practically the same deck. Erskigall kinda sucked for the other, but I mean, the one with Erskigall was still the one who won, even though they weren't able to use off their defenses. That's why I feel very justified in playing that defense, since one thing I haven't been enjoying so far is Big Cat. The draw 4 cards just doesn't get to trigger quickly enough. We ideally get to trigger this turn too. Like, that just never happens. It, like, literally can't unless we're up against black aggro or something. There are defenses that let you, like this one. It's not a draw 4, but
Hey buddy ほら手のなる方に止まれって文字ごとに飛び越えて飛び乗った123のビートで飛び立つ飛行機プレイヤーで通るタイミング映画みたいなワンシーン太陽のど真ん中ふわりなんだか雲とばったらついみたいな退屈につくき誰かが立ってる時耳当たり気にしてる日々に聞けまだ命令やでまでないのは暑さのせいですやカンカンに照った空にはキンキンなロックがいいなやりたいことだけやるそんな一日もいいじゃん真面目はちょっと置いといてでもしまったらおいえ数字は日焼けの後です誰か偉いとかなんて今はみんな忘れているこの時間がフィーソクどれ時までを呼ぶ